Do you ever get annoyed by the constant Apple and Android fans battling for supremacy? It does my head in that any article, report, or advert is just littered with attempts to put each other down. Why is this such an issue with smartphones? You want to know something? It might be the Tati James Charles thing. That people, they just want to be in camps. They want to be weaponized. They want to be a part of some battle, like where we have some predisposition for conflict. It's possible, maybe even probable. I get comments all the time personally that like I'm way too harsh with Apple. I think if you're a market leader in the space, well established, a very popular choice, still the most popular choice in North America for any one particular smartphone brand, then you should be scrutinized at a different degree. But like the idea, at least in my case, that I care all that much is kind of funny. Anybody who actually knows me knows that's obviously not the case. In fact, right now, I'm using an iPhone right now. So it's kind of funny. It's just people will pick and choose. They'll wait for the right moment to put you in one camp or the other, because I think it just makes the comprehension easier. It makes the decision easier. It makes a lot of things easier to just make it as contrasting as possible. Black and white, Apple, Android, choose your side, let's argue kind of thing. It's obviously far more nuanced than that, and there's way more to it, just like a lot of things. Is the more you zoom out, the more you recognize and realize how these two platforms benefit from each other. This guy's question specifically has to do with me ever wanting to bash my head in relating. I mean, sometimes it just gets boring more than anything. Like it's not even necessarily that I get mad about it, or it just gets boring. It's like it gets old. There's interesting stuff happening all the time, and I have to admit though, like I feel there are certain points in time throughout the Unbox Therapy history where I may have contributed to some of this by just like playing it up and having fun with it, which at the time seems innocent, but then you recognize the scale of it and how many people, what is the message that you're sending out? And I just feel like in general, that channel up there, Unbox Therapy, because of the fact that it's edited and it's clearly defined what the videos are going to be, and it's so product centric, that the package that comes out sometimes doesn't fully encapsulate all the nuance associated with the subject matter. And I think that's a big reason for why this content exists down here and why this channel started and why it's kind of freeing to express yourself here. I feel a lot less of that down here because I feel like I can explain myself a little bit more. So there's probably some content that I wouldn't make today, now knowing how important it is for me to fully explain myself to get the most comprehensive message across possible. And you just can't sometimes fit that into a headline, and you can't fit that into a 5-minute package sometimes. And once you start editing for that package, you can't help but play up the drama. You can't help but play up the more typical components, which may lead people to oversimplify their interpretation because you've oversimplified your message. So yes, sometimes I find it to be annoying, but mostly I find it to be boring. That said, I don't think you're ever going to get rid of it. I think the Apple versus Android thing is here to stay, just like your favorite sports team versus the next is here to stay. People want to be fans of things. We attach ourselves to things in order to help figure out our own identities. And I think it's part of being a person to like want your stuff to be the best stuff, or your team to be the best team, or yourself to be your best self. I don't know. It's hard to take the competition out of people, and in some ways, the competition is a good thing about people. Like competition is precisely what breeds amazing outcomes many times. So I think the main thing is to encourage the competition, have your selection, but then don't let the thing devolve into like something personal or hateful or whatever. Like that gets weird at that point. It's unnecessary. Like you can have like the difference between warfare and a sporting match. You know, at the end of a sporting event, you go and you shake hands. It's called being sportsmanlike. It's like we understand the rules of the contest, and if somebody's got something good and they did better in that circumstance, good, fantastic. You did it right. Shake your hand. We'll be back next time. That's one thing that comes out of sports. That's really, a very positive element. Not so much the outcome of the game, but the contents of it, how it was played, how you carry yourself. And I think you can actually bring some of that even into this contest here. Whereas you can have your selection, but you can also understand the other one. You can also have some sportsmanship with it and carry yourself the right way, even when conversing about it. Like, that's my choice, but I hear you on the other thing. That's the best. That's the best type of competition in my experience.